What is growth to you?
Well, to me, growth is a system that allows your business to scale, to be stable, and to be repeatable, and give you information that answers the questions that are particular to your business.
So it sounds like you're talking about a growth engine in a way.
Well, the growth engine comes from having a system, because once you've got a system, you can actually measure things and see what you can change to make it work better. And that optimization is growth. The optimization of whatever it is that you're focusing on is growth to me. Growth means many things to different businesses, but to me it means that you find something that's measurable, repeatable, and how finding a way to increase the yield of that resource.
So one way to sort of think about this as a system is to use a growth canvas or lean growth canvas such as this. And this is something that we in Lean Forward has been using for many different types of products. And it's a way to sort of model how growth happens in your product or your service or your company. And the growth canvas basically has different zones. We can go through them just quickly. You start with the audience zone, and that is where you identify the places where you reach your customers, you reach your audience. And it could be things like Facebook advertising, which you will be talking a lot about later on. It could be Google, or it could be advertising in newspapers, or even events, or maybe you go to exhibitions, and every way you have to sort of reach your audience on, you put it under the audience zone. And the goal is, of course, is with this canvas is to come up with experiments so that you understand which of these channels is the best one, is sort of the best sort of bang for the buck, basically. So you want to test all these channels out continuously and have a system for doing those kinds of experimenting and learning all the time. So in the audience zones, you put up your sort of your custom audience experiments. In the pitch zones, you experiment with different sort of messages to your customers, like the first offering you make them. Typically, this would be like landing pages or brochures or maybe your business card or whatever it is. It is sort of the first sort of description of what you're offering is a pitch. And then up here, you start doing the onboarding, which is basically where you try to sort of convert your prospective customer to an actual customer. And this can be very different for different types of products or services. For a restaurant, maybe, I mean, there's one conversion that needs to happen when you sort of bring the person from the street into the restaurant, but there is another type of conversion when you sort of want to make this into like a returning customer who returns to a restaurant many times. And you need to think about those two types of onboarding in different ways. And one way to sort of model that is to use this, what we call the engagement pyramid, which is basically a way to segment your customers into different levels of engagement and sort of understand how do we take a user from or customer from one level to a higher level of engagement and make them more, make them in some way use your service or product more often. So once you've sort of onboarded your customer, you enter this, the big part, which we call the experience zone. And this is where your service or your product is sort of being delivered to your customer. And in this, we have 4 different zones, and this you can basically change these to whatever fits you. But these 4 is typically like archetypical zones to use for any product. And the first one is almost the most important one, and we call it the product promise. And that is a very short, oops, hope my sound wasn't destroyed there, but a short description of what you promise your customers, basically. And the way to think about this is basically think about your customer having a specific problem or having a pain that needs to be solved. And you walk up to your customer and you put your hand on their shoulder and you say, "Don't worry, I take care of this. I promise to solve your problem in this way." And this is sort of like a way to describe how you the value offering you're bringing to your customers. Typically, this is you want to have as few product promises as possible, because if you have too many, you probably have a product that is a little bit too complex. So you have it's hard to to get this growth engine working as smoothly as possible if you have too many product promises. So your product should be sharp and clear to your customers what it does for them. And the flow moments is basically those moments when your customer uses your product where they are sort of in the zone, they are sort of involved in your product fully. Facebook is very good at this, for example, of keeping you inside the app. It's like almost impossible to leave once you launch Facebook. It's like this vending machine or this Las Vegas machine where you just pull the lever all the time to get new kicks out of new information or something that your friend posted. And again, using a restaurant as another sort of use case. This is where a person stays in the restaurant and orders more food or more drinks or something. They enjoy being there because of some reasons. So put those reasons here so that you understand them and you can test them out again. And you can understand what is it that makes my customers stay inside in a sense, my product. And the magic moments are those special extra moments where you sort of the coin drops and the customer really understands sort of what it is you're trying to do for them. And it's in one sense it's when your product promise is sort of fully delivered and the customer understands it, but it can also be those moments where you sort of over deliver and the customer gets this good feeling in the stomach and it says, yes, wow, this product is awesome or this service is awesome because of these magic moments. And the flip side to the magic moments are the WTFs, which are those moments where typically if you have a product that's maybe it is a few years old or you've been using it for a while, those tend to pile up, unfortunately. It's inevitable. But it's important to sort of be aware of them and understand what they are. And we're not talking about things like bugs if you have a software system. We're talking about peculiar features that are not really doing what they're supposed to, and people are sort of don't understand them, or they're just scratching their heads and going, "What the f?" And those are the things you want to put here. So these are also the negatives of the experience. They're detracting from the full experience. And then on this sort of last part of the canvas, you have this is when the user sort of in a way leaves your service for now. And then of course you want to give them reasons to come back, to use it again, to start the app again, to go into the restaurant again, to buy your services again, to be a returning customer. So what reasons do you give them to be that returning customer? And on this one you put this from this engagement pyramid. What reasons do you give your customers to be more involved, more engaged in your product? Are you rewarding them in some way the more they use it or whatever it is? And reasons to share is basically stories or other reasons that you have for your customers to tell their friends about it, invite their colleagues, talk about it, and just spread the word. So this is where you want to encourage sharing of your service or your product. And again, here in the corner we have those sad moments when our customer leaves. And so why are they leaving? We need to understand that and have it sort of up on this canvas so we can deal with it and learn from it. So that's basically the Lean Growth Canvas, and it helps you understand your engine of growth. I left these two out. It's basically two of your most important metrics, but we can talk about them later. Because I think that's just understanding that this canvas helps you understand the entire sort of flow of your customer, and you get a more holistic view of your service or your product if you map it out like this.
Cool. Well, all these different sections of the Lean Growth Canvas will bring out questions, and those questions are very particular to the business that you are trying to create. But the way to get over those obstacles of having no answers to your questions is to build experiments that are customized for your particular organization. And whatever those questions are, we're going to help you to build. That's supposed to be an M. Measure and learn. And it's in this process that you get the answers to your questions. I've always found that when I'm procrastinating, it's usually because I don't have an answer to a particular question. And the building of the experiments or your measurement system helps you at any point in this to answer questions, whether you're asking your customers information to help you design the reasons why they should come back, or you're trying to figure out the actual audience. Where is your audience in the engagement pyramid? Are they unaware? Do they know of you? Are they aware of the problem and solution? Now, the experiments help us to get metrics that answer the questions, and it's in that learning and the speed at which one can iterate around this that you are able to grow. And that's what growth is, because once you've measured something and you compared it to something else, then you can actually make a decision based on information that is not just an opinion. It's based on metrics that are specific to your business. So the experiments are very crucial to this whole process and can be used at any point. We're going to be using the example of a restaurant and using Facebook as a tool. It's one tool, and it's a traffic tool. And the main reason we use that traffic tool is because of the data we can get back and the reach that it has. So that's just a brief overview of where we're going to be going and how it's all going to fit together. So you'll learn how to do the canvas, how to get your answers, and how to learn quickly so that you can actually grow at the speed that is decided for your business by your capabilities. Great. Yeah, we're happy to introduce this course to you. Sign up and get some more in-depth details on each of these sections and all the different learnings to get through this so that you can have all the skills needed to grow your business.
Yep. So you need to basically learn to grow so that you can learn to grow, basically.